The final World Final live from Singapore, where some teams flourish, whereas others left to wither. The Garden of Counter-Strike sees just 4 teams remain. 3 more games, 2 more days, 1 final trophy.
It's time to enter the Lion's Den once again. This time, it only gets tougher from here. We've reached the semi-finals and 2 teams did get to benefit from a day off yesterday, but surely they were practicing hard and getting ready for the fights ahead of them. Guys, how are we feeling? Now, you guys came with the passion and energy that I absolutely loved yesterday. You guys were fantastic from the start to the finish. You saw an epic game between Spirit and FaZe that went the distance and more, but it was Spirit that was able to overcome them. Do we have some Spirit fans in the house? More boos coming out there. Well, that must mean there's more Astralis fans then, right? But before we get to that, Vitality, they demolished Mouse. Mouse fans, are you still here? Oh, okay. They left the building very quick after that one. But then we've definitely got Vitality fans, right? But Vitality have a tough task on their hands. You can see them getting set up and ready right now. And I know you're gonna make some noise for these guys. It's G2! And there's even some G2 flags in the crowd as well. Keep this energy, keep this passion, keep this fire. I want to keep hearing you roar. So Singapore, make some noise! And let's start the show.
Oh yes, day 2 here in Singapore, where 4 names remain in line for that World Finals throne. G2 speed running to the semi-finals and raring to be rebounding from Rio. Spirit, unfazed by FaZe and no cracking under the pressure just yet. Vitality, King Mezzy may be absent, but eliminating Mouse inches them closer to that crown. And last but by no means least, Astralis. Against all the odds, Cadian on a mission to put Danish Counter-Strike back on the map. My name is Fresbers, joined by Stico and Pim for this epic day of Counter-Strike. We had a great time yesterday. The crowd showed up so well. Semi-finals, it's only going to be getting louder in here.
It's only going to get better, isn't it? We often talk about Friday, first game in a quarterfinal. It can be a little bit quiet in here. People are at work, but people came in spades yesterday. The arena was feeling great. The atmosphere was cool. And I think you're right when you're saying it's only going to get better and better.
This is one of the crowds that is going close to my heart already by yesterday, because the games that we delivered as well on the stage here and the crowd that was cheering for that, it was something spectacular. It was such a good game, and moving forward for Saturday and Sunday, it will be awesome.
Gentlemen, what was the strangest thing that you signed yesterday? We've had a lot of fans coming and getting pictures. I saw the queue for you and Mo and Connor just yesterday, Jacob. I signed a laptop yesterday, a phone as well. What was the weirdest thing for you?
You don't want to know.
I don't want to know.
People don't want to know.
I think we should leave it at that then. Let's recap the group stage, however. Of course, we did have 4 teams taken to the stage yesterday, but 2 skipped out on that because they topped the group. Let's check in with Group A, because against all the odds, Tico, Astralis making it through as the best team in Group A.
Absolutely new face to be seen basically from Astralis. Compared to the previous results, this is the team that actually surprised me the most throughout the event, and the way they bought themselves extra day to rest, to practice and to prepare is actually incredible, because the teams they beat were not easy ones.
It's another fun story of how the narrative can change so quickly with a team coming into the tournament. We saw the 8 teams entering the tournament. We all agreed we have 7 of the best teams in the world. and Astralis attending. And all of a sudden they come in, they beat Na'Vi, they look super, super solid in the group stage. As you said, they haven't lost a map so far in this tournament. And from, talking about them not being here as the underdog or being here as the team that wasn't supposed to be here to now one of the, I guess, favorites to make it to the final. That's how quickly the narrative can change in Counter-Strike in just 2 days.
And Cadian doing it with just one arm as well. Get you a man who can basically do anything on the server. Group B, of course, it was G2 to be topping that particular group after going down 0-13 to Liquid in that first map, Stuco.
After that, they just kind of completely revamped their approach, I feel like. It is completely different team from what they came to the tournament. As Malbs actually said, the first map of the tournament never happened, so that 0-13 is not going to be stinking too much. But at the same time, they were showing really good signs throughout the tournament of improvements. Not only that they came prepared, but they're also improving throughout it.
G2 will always be resilient to that kind of pressure. Of course, a horrible start to the tournament for them, but when you have m0NESY firing, when you have Nico firing, when you have these individuals showing up in spades, then G2 can win tournaments as well as they can lose tournaments. We've seen that, but you can never count them out, especially when you have so much quality on the server every single time.
Well, from potential winners to unfortunate losers coming out of yesterday, as we can take a look at the playoffs overview with the quarterfinals being wrapped up. First up, it was MOUZ to be taken down by Vitality handedly at that, Jacob.
And that was disappointing. I think a lot of us expected MOUZ to be competitive in that game. I think most of us had MOUZ to win the game against Vitality as well. But one thing is losing, one thing is exiting the tournament in the fashion they did it. But when you're losing 16-6, or sorry, 13-6 and 13-6, and not even making the game competitive at any point, that's a bad feeling. So I'm a little more worried on MOUZ's behalf than I probably should be. It was a very poor showing yesterday.
It's unfortunate that they're kind of building that narrative of them not feeling too comfortable on the stage in front of the crowd. We have to keep getting rid of this name tag that they're given, because the major is coming, and team like MOUZ is not going to be comfortable with just top 4 finish. They want to aim for that trophy, and they need to do that in front of the crowd as well.
Now, on the other side of this bracket, we had another 2-0, but you wouldn't believe it was a 2-0 because this was a hyper-competitive game, double overtime on what was the final map of Anubis, with Spirit managing to keep their heads and kick and phase out of Singapore.
Best game of the tournament so far, no doubt. 2 super, super competitive maps. 13-10 on Mirage that could have gone the way of FaZe as well. Kerrigan even said it. A couple of rounds slipped out of their hands. And then, as you said it, Freya, this fantastic Anubis games where the emotions were just flowing in full force. You could see Shiro, you could see Donk, you even saw Kerrigan step it up to the occasion as well. That was a beautiful game of Counter-Strike, and I almost wish that we would have gotten a third map.
At some point, we were 1 bullet away from Dust 2, which would be a third map, and that could have gone again either way. So it just shows you how tense it is, how close these games are, and the likes of Chopper and Kerrigan that came up alive in that matchup is actually the names that you wouldn't expect necessarily, but IGLs keep pulling through this event, and I like it.
Yeah, of course, Spirit withstanding the pressure, wiping some sweat off their brow as they managed to eliminate FaZe. But I think it's time to check in with our predictions from yesterday to see exactly where everybody is laying. I'm still there with 2 lives. What are we, tied for first, Jacob and Mo, if I'm reading that correctly?
It's 2 smartest people in the arena, so I guess that's only fair that we're tied for first.
Wow, and humble as well,
yep.
I guess. Let's check in with the traded play of the day, though, because we did have some banging plays going down yesterday. I mean, I don't envy the person's job who it was to be selecting these, but you guys at home did vote who's coming in as third, Jacob.
We're starting with a bit of FlameC action with the M4A1S, and he was doing a great job yesterday. Aggressive, assertive, going for the duels, shutting down his opponents. It's a nice ace coming in from FlameC, and we saw a lot of aces yesterday. Arguably, this was the second best.
Just shy of a first place, Donk and Spirit. Again, on that Anubis that we just mentioned, Donk styling on them kids, or Angs, you should say, I don't know, it's just the 360 dual Beretta skill. You rarely see these kind of things, especially in pro games. You see it a lot in FaZe and Premier, but here at stage, Donk is doing it all.
He even seems surprised himself. Now, from the second best ace of yesterday to the best ace of yesterday, Shuhei with the USPS, and it was actually also the first round of yesterday. All headshots, standing in window, just tapping away, and let's be honest, Shuhei, he's known for a lot of good things, one of them being calling, but destroying opponents like that with a USP, I don't think I've seen Shuhei do that before.
No, it was insane. Maybe a bit of a bitter consolation prize for Shuhei is, of course, eliminated here in Singapore, but that does tee us up for our schedule today. 2 incredible semi-finals going to be going down, wrapping up with Astralis versus Spirit, not before G2 taking on Vitality, which leads us nicely into predictions where, Jacob, I completely disagree with you. It's time for you to defend your case.
I'm not sure I can, you know. I think the first game is 50-50. I am going and sliding with G2, given the stand-in situation with Vitality. And for Astralis Spirit, I don't know. I've liked what I've seen from Astralis, and given that I haven't picked Astralis in my predictions for almost 4 years, I thought today was about time.
For me personally, I agree with Jacob completely on the G2 angle. I think that's just, they cannot keep getting away with the stand-in for so much. For Spirit and Astralis matchup, I'm giving it to Spirit for the reason that from Astralis, there's been known issue where people on the lineup, if they get into the arena, that is a little bit wobbly, you know, so to speak. And, you know, it might translate here as well. Hopefully not, but that's my prediction.
Well, the fans have been arriving all afternoon long, and for good reason, because we have two very tasty dishes to be serving up today. Not least, beginning with G2 taking on Vitality, a rematch of full finals going down after this break. gauntlet of grudge matches continues as Vitality now lock their eyes onto G2. What was the full final semi-final now set to play out once again here in Singapore, where despite fielding Jax as a stand-in, Vitality managed to dismantle MOUZ just yesterday. But G2, they proved a tough opponent last time around, Jacob, because taking Vitality down in their semi-finals back in Copenhagen set them up for Grand Finals berth. And what did they do back at full finals?
They smacked Na'Vi in their best-of-5 final, and I don't think anyone saw that coming. I don't think many people had them as favorites against Vitality in that semi-final either. But as I recall it, we got onto Mirage. It was a very close game. Vitality even leading early on, and then for some reason G2, as they always do, they find a way back into the games. As you can see on the scoreboard, there were a couple of performers in that game that did very well for themselves. On the G2 side, Nico, malps, m0NESY. Those three are the three players you want to see play well if you hope G2 is to win today as well.
I have to say at full finals that they have played some of the most beautiful Counter-Strike I've ever seen from G2 this year, and this is impossible to maintain when you look at the G2, and they have been even part of the lineup changes throughout the year. It's been multiple times where they felt like the things are not going their way, but at full finals they actually proved a tier 1 team, and I'm hoping that we can see it here at World Finals.
It was crazy, right? Because they win the first map and it's like, right, okay, maybe this is an anomaly, Na'Vi are going to be bouncing back. Then they win the second, and I'm like, okay, this actually could be happening, potentially in 3. The fact that, Snax received so much critique when he joined this roster, obviously individual form not been up to par, the fact that they still lifted a trophy that's such an impressive feat for G2.
It is impressive, and no one can take it away from G2, but I think it's also part of why people are frustrated when they look at their lineup, because they are so good. They have these players in front of you right here, m0NESY, malps, and Nico, Hunter, Snax for that matter as well. There's so much quality within G2 that you almost expect them per default to be contending for trophies every single time. So they win Fall Finals, they then go to Rio where they bow out in last place and there's nowhere to be found, and then you're back to thinking what's going on with G2. So I think they're more frustrating than not. I've said it many times, I think being a G2 fan is the hardest job within esports. It's so nice, and when they play well, they play the most beautiful Counter-Strike out there, the most intuitive Counter-Strike out there, but when they fail hard.
We're not even talking about beautiful Counter-Strike, meaning that they strategically outplay everyone. It's just those crisp tabs from Nico, from malps, the pistol rounds. These are the best pistol rounds player I've ever seen in Counter-Strike 2 so far. We have m0NESY into that mix, one of the most flashiest kids that we have on the AWP right now, and it's just joy to watch purely from individual and mechanical standpoint of view.
Now, Jacob, you're giving me kind of Anchorman vibes in that suit, so I'd like you to be our news anchor just for the moment, because there's been a little bit of a quote, hasn't it, come out from the G2 CEO?
We have been speculating for quite some time as to what's going to happen with the man on the screen right here. And this G2 CEO said during this week, if we wanted to keep Nico, we could have done so, which implies very strongly that Nico is not going to stay with G2 for next year. We already kind of knew that. There's been rumors about sending him to the Falcons and all that kind of stuff, but for him to leave, and I guess for the CEO to confirm that during this tournament, that is news. So it's nice to know that we're perhaps seeing Nico playing on a stage for the last time. Who knows? But it will be good to know where he's going as well.
Yeah, and you have to look at the angle. We've been flirting with this idea at the Copenhagen last month, where we don't know where this team is standing on, how they're evolving throughout the tournament, how their mentality is. Are they going to keep up the roster together for the next year? These were all the questions that were risen back then in Copenhagen, and I think that we finally have an answers, and it begs even more question. What's the performance that they're showing here? Is this, unicorn kind of style thing, or this is the new G2 that we will be seeing?
Yeah, I'm excited about the new G2, and as I just said it out loud, I just realized this could be the last time we see Nico in a G2 jersey on a stage. If they were to lose today and not make the playoff at the major, then we're not going to see Nico wear the G2 jersey on a stage ever again, so embrace it while it lasts.
Well, I think we've got plenty of questions about this exact topic, so let's get some answers courtesy of Nico and Banks.
And I've got you smiling at the moment, but some news did come out around what the G2 CEO said around you leaving, basically like confirming it. Does it bother you that that's come out now in that sense? Like, does it affect anything?
No, not me at all. I'm here fully focused on the event, and I want to win. As long as I'm in G2, I want to win all the remaining events, so that's all I can say. My mind is clear, my goal is clear, and I'm aiming for a trophy here in Singapore.
And looking at that, getting to the grand final, say beating Vitality today, you already spoke about that being a confidence boost so far, right, compared to what you had in Rio. What would it mean for you guys just ahead of the RMR to be able to achieve that, get a grand final, be in a good road?
I mean, obviously, the better results we get here, the better it is for the RMR, but at this point, our heads are just, for this event. We just want to focus on game by game here. We are very close to a trophy, so it's very simple for us. We play against Vitality. We beat them last time, even when they were in full lineup. So we are favorites, and we need to take care of this business. And yeah.
Does it change anything with them having Jax?
I don't think it should change much for us. I mean, we talked. Obviously they're going to play with a little bit less pressure, I would say. But for us, it shouldn't change much. We just need to be ready for their aggression, and they're probably going to play with a bit of more freedom, so we just need to go out there and punish them.
Sounds like he maybe should be going to Astralis with that smooth PR answer.
There we go.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, he's got to handle the event exactly like this, right? The fact that you can't be looking at your next move, you can't be getting too ahead of yourself, because you've got 4 other players around you that they still want to be lifting the trophy as much as you do.
Absolutely, and this is not only the angle of his teammates, it's also a family bond within the team that we are having, so it's another thing you have to look at that is rare compared to any other team out there. Being myself, if I know some player is going out and the lineup might not be stable in the future, it raises a question, put pressure on myself to perform, to make sure that I'm not the next one in line. I have established myself into the lineup, so it's really important from the other POV of the teammates.
And I think it's a fair point you raised with the family connection between NiKo and Honda, of course. When they did join up together, as you see right here, they've been playing together ever since they were kids, and that's most likely going to change now. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen to G2, we don't know what's going to happen to Honda, but I did point out, and I want to point out, that NiKo said they're taking it game by game, and normally I hate that phrase. Normally I hate when teams are saying that, because there's always some greater goal, there's always building upon your strat book or building upon tendencies within the team, but knowing what situation G2 is in right now, you're not trying to build a new philosophy. You're not trying to build on something greater good coming into the meta. You're just trying to get the most out of the lineup you have right now. So taking it game by game, in this rare specific case where you know the team is not going to stay together, I will accept it.
Are you also accepting his answer of the fact that, even though Jax is on the other side of the server for Vitality, he's not looking at them any differently?
Absolutely not. I mean, they've been teammates in the past, I mean, for G2 at least side, and it's been it's going to be messy Counter-Strike by all means. It's not going to be something that we will see best tactical teams on both sides outplaying each other, making the strats out of the thin air, so to speak. But you have to think about the question that the pressure is the biggest factor in this game. I think both of these teams actually have very little of it.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it makes an even bigger advantage for G2. I think they thrive in chaos. I think they thrive when the game is not, strategically masterminded by a guy like Blade or Alexi B in the Na'Vi camp. The more open the playing field is, the more willing Vitality are to take duels, the more G2 will like that playing field.
Also, just to back up the words that NiKo was giving us, it's been evident that he hasn't been taking his foot off the gas for one moment. Obviously, flawless throughout that group stage, other than losing one map to Liquid to start off things. But the fact that he was, so involved in the calling, we were sitting in the booth, or behind the booth rather, just listening in to the G2 communications, and the fact that he's so involved in those mid rounds, he's really given so many strategies over to Snax as well.
Well, it's no secret to say that G2 are going to lose the most impactful player. Not only we're looking at the statistics, looking at the kills, looking at the trophies, but also calling-wise. He's the secondary caller that he was supporting Snax heavily throughout this tournament that we've got the chance to see. And it's going to be incredibly hard role to fill by another player.
Listening to the communications during the group states as well, and knowing what we already know, I'm almost willing to make the statement that I think NiKo is more of a caller than Snax within the G2 camp. One thing is calling what you want to do out of spawn. One thing is having the close connection with the coach coming into the game. But when it comes to mid-round calling and game-decisive calling, you could hear clearly that is NiKo taking the charge more often than not.
You kind of touched upon, the feelings that you've had when you've known that maybe you're leaving the team or another player's leaving the team. Back when you were playing in, 1985, Jacob?
Yeah.
Did you ever have that experience? What were the emotions when you know that somebody's going to be departing and yet you still have to play maybe a couple more events with them?
It can be very difficult. Obviously, it depends on the circumstances. I think when a star player like NiKo is leaving G2, the rest of the team will still back him up. As long as they feel he's motivated, as long as they feel he's coming in, doing his job, I don't think it's too big of a problem. I had an occasion where I knew I was getting kicked after a couple of events. So I was playing 2 events knowing that I would get kicked. So for my motivation, it kind of tanked at the first event. I was like, okay, why am I doing this? Why am I traveling to the States to play a tournament knowing I get kicked? kicked. And then I realized, listen, this is the perfect opportunity for me to showcase myself. I'm getting kicked, I need to find a new team. So next tournament, I played beautiful Counter-Strike. So it's all about finding that inner motivation and finding your own source of motivation, I guess, to make the best out of it.
And the situation is a little bit different because it's not like Nico is getting kicked, but he obviously doesn't need to fight for his legacy. He's already probably having negotiations within the new team. We can only, you know, imply
if anything,
this.
he's probably practicing as an in-game leader for his next team. So let's see about that.
Do you want that? Would you want
Nope,
Nico to
I
be
would
an
hate
in-game
that.
leader?
But I mean, the amount he's talking, the amount he's directing in the game, Nico could be a wonderful in-game leader if he wanted to. I don't hope that's going to be the case. I want someone to have that responsibility upon them, and then Nico can be the second hand. But I mean, the way he communicates, the way he reads the game, it's up there with the best.
Nico will always be the second hand to an IGL. He has so much experience, he's so vocal about how he wants to play Counter-Strike with his team that he will, no matter the team he lands on, he will always be very vocal.
I mean, he won a trophy back at IM Dallas when he was leading, Jacob. Maybe that's fulfilled him with some confidence. Either way, should we talk about the actual in-game leader for now? That is Snax. Because he's been setting a record that isn't great.
I think it's
Let's
cool.
put it that way. It's a cool record. It's a horrible record, Jacob.
It's a record, you know. He can go down in history and be like, listen, I won a tournament. I won games. I won more games than I'm losing. Actually, by going negative KD or 0 KD for 38 games in a row. Hasn't had a single game with a plus KD. And we had the conversation yesterday with Kerrigan. He hasn't had a single event in, is it 58 tries with a positive KD? But at least he have games where he's stepping up and having impact. Snax is not that kind of player from an individual standpoint. It's been very disappointing. However, the way he's been leading G2 or enabling the players around him, you can't really put a finger on it because they have won a tournament and they are winning more games than they're losing.
I respect Snax for not hunting for the eco kills. He's actually playing into the narrative that he lets his teammates scoop up the...
I've seen him hunt a couple of times and he even dies in those scenarios.
Well, okay, it happens. I try to back him out a little bit. But, you know, at this point, just try to lean into the record. I mean, even if you're winning 13-3, just, you know, give you a little death there.
It's funny. It's a meme at this point. It ain't that deep. But I do want to put a head-to-head under the spotlight, which I think we're so excited for. Not least because we've got two of the best AWPers in the world going toe-to-toe. But the fact that this is two of what will be, certainly, the top 3 players of 2024.
You're wrong, Freya. It's not 2 of the best offers. It is the 2 best AWP players
true.
the game has to offer right now. m0NESY versus ZywOo. And you can even hear the crowd right here. They love that action cam right here. 2 players right now who are trying to define themselves and put themselves in a position to be crowned as the best player of the year. We're going to have that conversation, that discussion later. One fact is right now that both m0NESY and ZywOo have had a great tournament so far. ZywOo has been more consistent at a very high level, whereas m0NESY have had pop-off rounds, pop-off games where he's dictating the game. I love this duel, and I think it's going to be a banging one on the server once more.
It's about the thing that m0NESY is performing so well, even if G2 are getting absolutely handled. You have to understand that even the exit at IM Rio, which was early one for G2, m0NESY was the best performer by far, above even Nico or Hunter for that matter.
I'm so excited for the team walkouts because ZywOo, I mean, the roof was almost blasted off when he walked out, but I have a feeling m0NESY might be the crowd favorite today. In terms of the style that both of these guys deploy, obviously, as you said, the 2 best AWPers in the world, undisputed. Where do you see the variances and how they approach the game of Counter-Strike?
I think if you were to put differences into them, it's the same thing as we always praise m0NESY for. He's a bit more explosive, I'd say. We saw this clip on Anubis CT side where he, out of nowhere in overtime, just destroy his opponents. And I feel like ZywOo doesn't have that same kind of explosivity to him. ZywOo is a little bit more calculated. He has the clutching ability as well, which m0NESY have as well. I think if you were to differ them, ZywOo is a little bit more consistent, whereas m0NESY is a little bit more flashy in that regard. But both of them are having a very high level, and both of them are great clutchers.
If you look at the statistics, it will suggest you that ZywOo is maybe a little bit better, but if I have to look from the player's POV, m0NESY is by far the best player to ever touch Counter-Strike. Mechanically, individually, he's even calling very well, supporting Snax and Nico for that matter. He's giving ideas, he's being very creative, he spends tons of times on server, empty server, theory crafting. This is pure passion that I'm seeing out of him, and I absolutely adore the guy.
Honestly, it's big words to say that, but I'm almost, you know, willing to buy it in a sense that I think m0NESY, from a skill perspective, is probably the best player in the world. I don't think anyone has the skill set m0NESY has. It's about finding consistency, maybe maturing a little bit. He's not as old as ZywOo, doesn't have as much experience, but if you were to ask me who do I think is the best player in Counter-Strike in 2 years, I would point at m0NESY any given day.
Let's talk a little bit about ZywOo just yesterday, obviously, in their quarterfinal matchup versus Mouse, because it didn't necessarily have to be the ZywOo ZywOo show, right? We saw Spinks, we saw Flamesy firing on all cylinders. That is what we kind of want to be seeing from this Vitality camp, not having to rely on ZywOo to bring out the big plays, but him being able to when it does matter.
Absolutely. We've been saying it all year long, and even years before that, Vitality shouldn't be just a ZywOo one-man show, and they've been delivering just that. They've been proving that statement is going to be changing probably moving forward, because Flames was having actually a pretty insane tournament so far, considering the fact that he's just on the rifle, or just quote-unquote, but then Spinks has his occasions when he's going to play really well. Then there's obviously the angle for Jax, where he's just buying a lot of space for the teammates right now as a stand-in. ZywOo is putting up insane numbers, and he's doing it consistently in the games where it matters, but the games where they're kind of overrunning the enemies, it might be a little bit harder to get impact going on with an off. Obviously he's getting it, by no means, but it is a little bit tougher for him.
It was great to see Spinks play well yesterday, because I think that's been one of the talking points and one of the issues for Vitality. Apex even referred to it, saying that we know ZywOo is going to play well pretty much at all times, but we can't really have both ZywOo, Spinks and Flamesy playing well at the same time, and he couldn't figure out why that was. You know, is it something about the system? Is it something about the confidence? I don't know, but yesterday we saw the three of them play well all at the same time, and that's when Vitality goes from being a team that contends for semifinals and finals to winning trophies.
I think it is only apt that we get some words from the Woo, courtesy of James Banks.
So things are looking very good for Vitality, especially with how you played yesterday. Have you guys spoke about how you can take that same energy, the same commitment from all players to be able to have that today against G2?
Obviously, yesterday after the game against Moss, we talk about what we need to bring again for against G2. And obviously we have a good talk, we know what we need to bring, even though we have a standard with Jack, but I think he's playing really good. Like he's not putting us in trouble, I will say. Like he's playing really good roles, he's taking the role of with Meze like really perfectly. So actually for all of us, like all four, we don't have to change anything, we just have to play our style. That's why yesterday was working really well in terms of individually and as a team, everything was working for us, so it was really good.
Now, you're still one of the very best players of this game. How comfortable do you feel right now in CS2? Do you feel like you've got to maybe the same comfort level as CSGO?
Nah, obviously not. Obviously, I can feel I was better in CSGO, but CS2 is still to improve, to find new things, because like there's always new update, always new things. So obviously I can always improve. Like every day, like every time I do mistake, I say, fuck's sake, I want to improve every time.
Are you ready for the Monasty Challenge today? Because we're all still looking at this in terms of the numbers, the stats, what can be had there for the end of the year.
Yeah, of course, I'm always ready. Obviously, I'm not like, you know me, like, I'm not.
You don't care.
I'm not really watching it. Yeah. Like when I'm playing the game, I'm not watching Monasty score or whatever. I'm just playing my game, trying to do my best every time. But at the end, obviously, I will check.
I love that question from Banks, because it's been just over a year since we kind of transitioned into CS2, and ZywOo says, you know, he still hasn't found his form that he had in CSGO. I'd be inclined to agree with that, even though he is still shining so brightly.
He mentioned that he's catching himself in the mistakes, and this is what I want to mention. Between CS2 and CSGO, it's actually really easy to get caught in these mistakes in CS2, because you can be getting out of position much more easier because of the smokes being blown away. You know, all these kind of things are kind of playing a role where positionally you have to be even more precise compared to CSGO, where ZywOo as an opera was getting away with a lot of leeway.
Yeah, ZywOo is a very calculated player, and I guess the whole dynamic of being able to nade the smokes and having more avenues of, you know, poaching the AWP in the game makes it the game a little bit more difficult for the AWPers in general. So being a calculated guy like ZywOo, I'm sure he liked CSGO more from the fact that you couldn't blow up the nades in that regard, but he's still playing at an incredible high level.
Let's talk about the Jack side of the conversation. Obviously standing in just for the moment for King Meze, who has just become a dad, so well-deserved time off there. Has he been a liability so far, Stiko?
I don't think so. He's been pulling his weight for the most part on every map, especially on those, I would say, buggy maps where you don't need to have this kind of rotation-heavy style with the strategic outputs, where, for example, Nuke, you would be having to have sticking to the protocols for CT side and T side. But Dust 2 has been especially good map for him. He's been entering his way on Anubis as well. So on these maps where the raw aim is kind of showing himself the potential to be a tier 1 player.
It would be a mistake to say Jax has been a liability. I don't think that's been the case at all. He's been doing tremendously well for himself. Even yesterday in the quarterfinal, individually speaking, he was having impact, having big rounds. I do, however, think with Jax, which is natural, as a stand-in for Vitality, he's a limitation to the lineup. There's certain things and certain strats, certain ways of playing that Vitality can transition into in a game. So it limits the playbook and the opportunities for Apex a little bit, but that could be any stand-in, so it's not really a Jax thing.
Right, you were talking about it just yesterday, the fact that, you know, potentially it would mean that Apex has to shift some more attention over to Jax. It may mean that he is limited in terms of time that he can give to the other players or his own mind for the game. Did we see any of that happening in yesterday's series?
Not really, because I don't think Mouse played well enough yesterday to test that. You know, I don't think Vitality were pushed to a point where Apex is sitting in a scenario where the scoreline is 10-10, you're heading into overtime, and you really have to go deep into your playbook or come up with something creative. In those scenarios, Vitality could be a little bit limited, but it requires the opponents to be competitive enough, which wasn't the case yesterday.
Yeah, but it might be the case today because G2 is a different beast, and you have to think about it this way, that Jax is coming into the server and he's probably going to be the weakest when it comes to individual mechanics and the time put in. Obviously, the experience on the tier 1 level in CS2 has been non-factor for him so far, other than the other guys that are on the stage besides him. So it's another thing that you have to take into consideration when Jax is going to maybe not feel that right, and so far he's been doing great, but how long can it last?
Well, let's go ahead and check in with Flamesy as he has some thoughts on the stand-in Jax.
Flames, yesterday's game was solid from you guys, but this looked like a new Vitality. What was the change? What was the switch?
Well, I think we just gotten into a little bit of form, and obviously we had some... I think when you lose a game, you have a lot of opportunity to learn, and I think for Jax it was also an opportunity to kind of like get into the Vitality sort of way of playing in some sense, like we know the keywords, all this kind of stuff, it's sort of memorized from the first game, and I think Liquid game was like a bit tougher, so it also helped a lot that you have a bigger margin to take information from. And I think against Mousesports, individually we were really on point, and I think also like it makes it easier if you know, Zayu gets 1 kill here and Sphinx gets 2 kills here, and every like 2-3 rounds, then it makes you have a very good chance on the buy rounds, which sort of like they choose who wins the game, the buy rounds. So I think it's mostly just Jax getting like more ready, more like in depth with us, and we have more time to like sort of like just prepare ourselves. We don't really care about the enemy because we're not in the main roster, right? We just need to sort of get our shit together, and I think that's like the aim. We're not here to like, obviously everybody wants to win the tournament, but we're here with lower pressure, but on the other end, we really want to improve and take this tournament as a serious one, even without Messi, so it doesn't feel like the stand-in kind of tournament.
You like that approach from Vitality? Because so far, it's been working for them.
I love it. You know, I think it frees up the players like Spinks and Flamesy were in the lineup. Apex even said in an interview leading into the semifinal, all he wants to is make sure that the players are running around feeling comfortable in that regard. Also, we are in an era where anti-stratting and preparing for your opponents, it's something that everyone is speaking about, where, as you heard right here, Vitality are throwing that away. Just focus on ourselves, just play whatever game we want to play, and then we'll see what happens. And I think that's freeing up the entirety of Vitality right now.
Another thing that Flame said was the memorizing the strat book, and that can take a lot of brain power away from what really matters in Counter-Strike, and that is shooting. So sometimes people overthink situations and overthink the strategies to the point where they just don't perform individually, which has not been that case so far. Just because of this thing, he doesn't need to memorize a lot of things because he's the one going in, finding road rules, and that is really what Counter-Strike is about.
And it's an excellent point, because that's exactly what I mean by simplifying the game and the limitations to Vitality. There is a strat book, they've been together for a long, long time, but Apex is well aware that certain of those strats, certain of those, I guess, changes within the game, you can't do when you're playing with a stand-in. So simplify the playbook, make sure to focus on yourself, and make sure Jax is feeling comfortable, which they've done so far.
I think before we do dive into the pick and bans for this series, it's important to preface maybe expectations and maybe how they will differ coming into this series, particularly because Jax is here as a stand-in, because every single time they faced off in 2024, 4 times in total, Anubis has been present. Are we expecting it today?
I definitely expect it today, and for one sole reason is that there's a weird stat that Vitality is actually really sucky on Anubis, but there's one team they've been beating all year long, and that is G2 for that matter. They have 75% win ratio against G2, but measly 22% against anyone else, which is bonkers to me, having this stat. But they've been farming over G2 on this map, and I definitely see that as G2 might be actually scared picking it or playing it, whereas it opens door for Vitality to actually play the map.
Okay, very interesting. Let's see if that will come to fruition. I expect it to be in the map pool, but are Vitality going to be bringing it in? Oh yes, that noise means one thing and one thing only, the picks and the bans. I think the bans, Jacob, are pretty self-explanatory. It's going to be the usual, I would expect.
Yeah, none of these two teams have had an extended break. None of these two teams have done anything to change the map pool. So when you see the bans coming in right here, there's not going to be any surprises at all. Ancient gone, Vertigo gone, that makes sense. I don't think anyone is too bad about that. You know, Vertigo out of the map pool, that's cool. Dust 2 being picked by Vitality, that seems to be a fan favorite inside the arena. We got a bit of Inferno coming in for G2. So far, not a big surprise. And there we go, Anubis actually being vetoed by Vitality.
Okay, that's interesting. And we are leaning into the fact that Jax is probably not as comfortable. And for the decider, we do have a Mirage.
I think that's a great map pool for both teams. I think it's two maps, especially in Dust 2 and Mirage, that both of them are feeling super comfortable on. Inferno requires a bit more team play, a bit more structure with all the utility. That could be a map where Jax will be tested to the limit, but in terms of playing Dust 2 and Mirage, that should be pretty straightforward for Jax.
We've seen Vitality playing a hell of a lot of Dust 2, probably for that reason. Do you think that is why that they chose to ban out Anubis in that second wave? I thought that might be a nice handshake at the end.
They have shown very little weaknesses so far on Dust 2, and I think it was Mouse and Liquid that they've been beating pretty convincingly, and I think that's the reason why they kind of make it as a home turf of a map for this event specifically, because Jax seemed to love it, and he's been doing great on it.
I'll tell you why Anubis is not part of the map pool. I'm pretty sure if we were to ask Vitality, I think it's because of Jax being a stand-in. It's a map that he hasn't played that much as an active player, a map that requires an awful lot of synergy on the CT side in order to shut down a well-functioning T side, which we know for a fact G2 is capable of. And it's a map where utility is a bit underrated. You need to know so many smokes, so many utilities, and I don't think Jax knows that. So to get rid of that from that point of view kind of makes sense.
Right, you brought up an Apex quote that you liked earlier. There was one that you didn't like, though, from that HLTV interview. It was him saying, you know, he wants to showcase to the world that Jax is still a legit player that you should be picking up. I like that because they're friends, right? You want to help out your mates. You didn't like that so much. Do you not like friends, Jacob?
I get the sentiment, and no, I hate friends. I get the sentiment that what Apex wants to do is obviously showcase Jax from his best side, and I guess they're friends, and he hopes that he can play on any given team out there, but it's not up to Apex to make sure that Jax is showcasing himself. That is more or less solely on Jax's responsibility. If he's playing well at this tournament, if he's continuing down the trajectory that we've seen so far from the quarterfinal yesterday, he's making a great case for himself. There's only so much Apex can do, but as I said, I like the sentiment, but it's not really his job to do that.
I think for what Apex maybe was meaning throughout that quote is that throughout the timeouts, for example, when he's explaining a difficult strategy, he doesn't explain the strategy into detail to Jax because he doesn't need to know about it. He just gives direct roles and orders for Jax to perform, so he can again leave that brain power to actually aim and instead of thinking about the strat. So he's maybe going more in depth and requiring some of his own brain power in terms of Jax making sure that all timings are right, all nades are right, all pathings are right, because these things are small details, but in the game of Counter-Strike at this level is all that matters.
There's no doubt that Apex can help Jax, but at the end of the day, it's up to Jax to showcase us, the worlds, the fans out there, any teams that may be interested in him, that he's still got it. And I think so far it's been decent, but if he can step it up a little bit more, maybe be a difference maker in a semifinal against G2, that's when he's starting to make a great case for him to make a comeback within the Tier 1, Tier 2 Counter-Strike scene.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. It is almost ready to get our games underway. The last ever semi-finals of Blast Premier. The beginning of the end of this particular chapter.
It's a sweet farewell. You know, all good things have to come to an end.
You know, the players always want to be in front of the fans, in front of the crowd, in front of the audience.
It is you who sets the stage with us. It all comes down to define how we end.
Counter-Strike, you always have a chance to win the round. There's incredible moments of achieving something that seems like it should be impossible.
And now we saw the HUD running up close and personal. Oh, what a flick!
We will show everyone that we live and breathe Counter-Strike.
Flames, fights, all fronts. Welcome to Wonderland! Filthy! Absolutely filthy!
It's given us so much. We are lucky that we get to say hello to the next rendition.
Well, that gets me very emotional. There's a lot of history here when it comes to Blast Premier, and we've had a fantastic run but next year things change in a bigger way. All of you guys here sat before me, everyone watching at home online gets to experience the last ever World Final. Are you guys ready? Now, when it comes to these two teams, I think this crowd is going to be very split amongst it. We've got players like Nico and m0NESY, ZywOo and Spinx ready to go to battle. Vitality right now looking like they could do anything with a stand-in, but G2 are going to try and be the ones to stop them. So let me hear you guys make so much noise, enjoy the Counter-Strike, have all the fun from start to finish. Are we ready? I want to hear this over and over again. Singapore, do we have some G2 fans in the house? Not bad, not bad. What about some m0NESY fans? Nico? I think m0NESY's winning that one right now. And then on the other side, what about Vitality? Little bit less. What about ZywOo? Well, guys, I want to hear you roar one last time. Everyone in this building, make some noise! Let's get our teams onto the stage.
We'll be walking on stage today with full confidence.
I didn't come here to play. I came here to win.
I always want to win every tournament. I mean, it's obviously about consistency.
Playing much better than we did in Rio, for sure.
Everyone wants to win and everyone is hungry.
Fire at the feet, but prevails!
We just have to step up and start playing.
m0NESY is gonna have to do it alone! Just like that! Nobody can stop it! G2 over top of Spirit yet again.
The bounce back after Rio is exactly what G2 needed, as the Samurais sliced their way through the Dragons and straight into the semi-finals confidently. Deja vu is what they are feeling today as they face Vitality in the semis again. But this time, it's different. This time, they have an ex-G2 player on the other side. This time, it's personal.
Like, we don't have to get overconfident, but I promise if we keep going good CS together, we're gonna smash them.
Vitality have arrived!
My team really care about revenge.
They just want to take their revenge.
Jackson, Spinx, working in tandem, cracking things open.
He who defines what is possible!
Thriving in the chaos!
Burning the whiskers off of Mao's is flames.
It's no problem for Vitality as they booked themselves a place in the semi-finals.
They stung the Maos and put them down quick as everyone on Vitality screamed V is for victory. They crushed their way into the semis while hearing the roars of this crowd. Everyone on Vitality stepped up on this stage. Now they look to do it again, not just for themselves, not just for their fans, but to get revenge for Jax and prove a point that he wasn't led correctly.
G2 versus Vitality. 4 head-to-heads throughout 2024. 2 wins for each side of the equation. Now, Jacob, one must come out on top.
Yeah, there's gonna be a loser today, Freya. You're not wrong about that. I'm not quite sure that's gonna be, though. I think there's so many interesting storylines heading into this game. Obviously, knowing Jax is a stand-in, knowing he's playing to potentially secure himself a contract for 2025, that's a big motivation for him. I think Vitality and the way they've been playing so far has looked like the freed-up team. Looks like Flamesy is getting confidence. Looked like Spinx is getting confidence. And on the other side, you have G2 with arguably the best trio in terms of raw firepower the game has to offer right now. m0NESY, NiKo, and Malt. It's almost guaranteed Stuko that it's gonna be a great game.
Absolutely. I mean, it's layers and layers of storylines that you can create out of this, not only on the server, but also off the server. I love it. You have to think about it this way. You have G2 on the other side that are looking to redeem themselves after tragic previous tournament, and they've been doing it very well so far.
Should we dive a little bit deeper into the statistics, if you will, Jacob? Because there's an interesting tale when we're looking at each team having a man advantage in the situation, right? It's going to be so crucial at the opening kill.
Yeah, I was looking into it yesterday night preparing for the game, and G2 have converted 91.7% of their CT-sided 5v4 rounds so far, which essentially means whenever they find an opening kill on the CT side, they win the round. However, there's a bit of an issue to that, because Vitality on the other side have converted an amazing 86.1% of their T-sided 5v4 rounds. So essentially what it means is that the opening kill department within this game is going to be very crucial for who's going to walk away with a win. Now, it's not something you prepare for as a team. You don't go into the game and say, listen guys, we can't give away any opening kills because then they win the round. But if you as a viewer is noticing throughout this game that one team or the other is getting significantly more opening kills than the other, that probably means that team is going to win.
I love this stat line. Obviously, there are so much more, especially when it comes to, for example, pistol rounds, which is right now in MR12 one of the biggest talking points. It is especially true for the map that we're going to be seeing first, which is Dust 2, where you need to get that off as soon as possible. The long-range duels are just simply too powerful not to hold, and that pistol round win percentage for G2 is absolutely brutal. Even on maps like Inferno, they have wielding like 80% or something of pistol round wins, and that is just a boost that in MR12 means you're converting so much more of a firepower from the get-go.
If I'm not mistaken, Stuko, you said that G2 is arguably the best pistol round team you've ever seen in history of Counter-Strike 2. Given it's a short history, I would most definitely agree with that. The stats backs it up as well. So far in this tournament, they won 8 out of the 10 pistol rounds they played, whereas Vitality have won 7 out of 14. So they're winning 50% of theirs. I think you're right when you're saying pistol rounds could very well be being a determining factor as well, given that this game is a game that by the looks of it, you know, will be decided by momentum. Who gets off to a good start? Who has the economy to make sure that Saivu or m0NESY always have an orb in their hand if they desire to? So getting off to a good start, converting on your pistols in MR12 in a game that is, you know, as open as this is, it's going to be determining.
It's going to be crucial indeed. And speaking of winners, you guys can be winners at home as long as you're watching through blast.tv, as we've got some signed nameplates to be giving away. That raffle will be starting, or 2 of them rather, when Game 1 commences, finishing when the games conclude tonight. 1 raffle ticket will cost you 1,000 blast.tv points, and more tickets gives you a higher chance of winning. You can enter multiple raffles at once, so make sure you're watching on over at blast.tv to enter that giveaway. Gentlemen, we did talk about our predictions. I'm the sole believer in the Bs at the moment. Maybe I'm following my heart more than I am my head. Give me some logic then, Stiko. Why is G2 winning this one?
I think G2 are just playing straight up better Counter-Strike this event, and at the same time, I feel like individual power is a little bit stronger compared to the Vitality ones. There's multiple factors to it, there's multiple ways you can spin it off. For me, G2 is the clear favorite today.
I'll echo that sentiment. I have G2 winning this game as well. I think they'll be able to pressure Vitality to a point where it's going to showcase us that having a stand-in is more often than not, obviously not an advantage. However, it's not unlikely Vitality can make the game competitive. I almost will guarantee you that it will be. It's not unlikely Vitality can win the game, but if I were to pick, I'd also go with G2.
Curious to see if the live odds are agreeing with my analyst sentiments over here on the desk. And yeah, I mean, it's reasonably close, but still siding with the side of G2. But we're going to be starting on Vitality's map pick, and we are going to be starting on those sides, G2 on the CT side, Vitality T side, where you're mentioning how crucial those opening kills are going to be, Jacob. What do we expect from both sides on this map?
I expect a game where both teams are willing to fight. We heard it from Apex, we heard it from the Vitality players. They feel freed up, they know they're playing with a stand-in, they're just focusing on themselves. They will be willing to fight, they will be willing willing to go out there and seek the opening duels. And you have to look out for Flamesy, obviously, in that department. He's a man of the hour when it comes to that. Saivu, for that matter as well, has a habit of doing it. And maybe even Jax, you know, an aggressive player that can go out there and seek them. Whether or not he has the individual skill to go toe-to-toe with the likes of Malps, Nico, and m0NESY, that could be a problem.
I have to say that if Vitality deployed Jax on whatever position for that CT side on us too, if Nico knows Jax is there, he's just going to go and seek that frag. There's no doubt about it. He knows in his confident abilities how much of a better gamer he is right now, and he might be bullying Jax as actually outside of the server.
I want to put two names into the mix that we haven't spoken a lot about, you know, and maybe for good reason. A little bit we touched on Snax saying that he's been on a 38-game record of not having a positive KD. It's not like Apex is having a great tournament on the other side either. Both of them are the in-game leaders. Both of them individually have been struggling a little bit. I'm almost willing to bet you that the likes of Nico, m0NESY, Saivu, Spinks for that matter, they will have moments in this game where they can determine the game, where they can have an impact in the game. However, if one of Snax or Apex is having a great game, if one of them is having a great map or having a great read on the game, that could very well also be the difference between these two teams. Now, I'm willing to bet my money that it's more likely going to be Apex than Snax, because we haven't seen that for 38 games in a row. But wouldn't it be nice if he would, you know, slay that curse, Snax, coming in with a great performance, and that could be a win condition for G2?
I mean, stranger things have happened. We did see the in-game leaders from both FaZe and Spirit side of equation really popping up just yesterday. But I mean, the AWPers, we've got to be looking at them coming into Dust 2, right?
They are competing for the top one and deciding who's the best AWPer. This matchup might very well be quite telling in that terms. If one out-ops the other by a landslide, it might be a big favor for each of them that one of them will be grabbing the #1 of the year.
Jacob, who is going to out-op either one of each other?
I don't think they're going to out-op each other in the head-to-head duels, but the question is who will dictate and dominate the riflers on their opposing sides more. I am willing to go with Saivu, given the fact he's been the most consistent player so far, but I'm also willing to bet you that when G2's down, when G2 needs a m0NESY clutch, he'll probably chime in as well. So what do you value more, consistency throughout the entire game, or those pop-up rounds where you change the direction of the game?
That is the question. What do you value more, Stiko?
It's hard to say. It goes both ways. It's a double-edged sword. I will say for the counterpart that Saivu is the one maybe looking at the shy end here, because m0NESY is having that early round advantages when it comes to AWP, just because of that pistol round that they are converting early on and that economy boost from the get-go. I think that will be no different in this game, but hopefully I'm not jinxing it.
It is time to get the semi-finals started in Singapore. G2 versus Vitality.
Oh yes, that's right, it's time for the semis here at the last ever Blast Premier World Finals. A completely packed arena is ready for the best Counter-Strike players on the planet to lock horns and battle it out for a $1 million prize pool. Singapore, I hope you're ready for another serving of Dust 2 Chaos. It's time to lock in. It's time for Vitality versus G2. Let's get it on!
Oh, Hunter, he wants to get this on. Already up middle right here, challenging Jax to stand in, strikes first. Slows things down, good flash. Oh, Saivu taking down Nico early on. Nice advantage for Vitality here, but they slow things down. The Des talked about it, these 5v4s, they have been pivotal for both of these rosters.
Here we go then, is there any chance of recovery for G2? Nico and Hunter removed, plenty of time on the clock, 5 versus 3. Jax waits for another advancing CT player. They're holding the choke points. They're bleeding out the utility. m0NESY has removed his silencer, of course he has, as he patiently waits towards short. One player towards the back of B, that's going to be Snax. It's a good position, but it looks likely to be a split. Flashbang towards short. They need information, they need to shut this down. Can m0NESY strike?
Yes, he can. 2 shots immediately from m0NESY. Evens things out, and Vitality, they've been blindsided. But still, they want to execute their plan. Flash out. Jax, he's taking a peek right now. He's looking for something, but it looks like Vitality, they're actually hightailing it to B. That is where Snax is on an island. He's going to step up. The captain of G2 under so much scrutiny. A second kill for Snax. Looking for the third. He gets it.
What a recovery that was. A 5-on-3 deficit. It looked like there was nothing left to do. A flashbang towards shore equalizes the playing field. And then Snax erupts with one of his best plays of the tournament so far. 3 kills when he's isolated at the back of the B side. This was fantastic from him. The USP looking so crisp, so sharp, as he does find that hat trick and finds the pistol for G2. Vitality with no plan and giving that round up in a frustrating manner will have to swallow a full eco here.
No better time to break that 38-game streak. It's all we've been harping about
right?
when it comes to Snax. So many games consistently that he's unable to find that positive kill-death ratio. Well, that's a good start.
Yeah, that certainly boosts the confidence. Sets him up for a fantastic performance here today. As we see the scout spotting multiple players. Nico looking to farm some cash at MP9. You know he's going to find multiple kills here. He can't. There's the hat-trick. Give him out another race. He deserves it. No! Snax will get the final kill. But a convincing finish there from G2. They hit the ground running here in the first map. And now the gun rounds begin. The AK-47's available, but with no plants, I don't think they can justify an AWP. Nico farming so much money, no casualties taken, Maui. A bit of a bonus situation here with the MP9 still available, and we'll see if they can come out on top.
That's huge. Yeah, so much money, like you said. It doesn't look like they're actually going to equip the AWP just yet. Going to be playing with this bonus buy. The utility, though, it's not great, but looks like we're going to get that late long take. Molly, though, with a feet of flames. He wants to bust on out. Spots one target. Takes him a while to find him, but Valves is taken down. That is long control in the favor of Vitality, and they're already fighting back. Ooh, long range fight. Monacy with the headshot, though, evens it out.
Here we go, then. He's getting in his zone. A dangerous prospect for Vitality. Double headshot with the scout. Locking them in. Can he get a third? Upgrade to the MP9, retreats back towards the bomb site itself. Gonna focus his efforts towards long. Jax is waiting on the other side as Monacy sits in the smoke. His teammate will go down. 3 versus 2 advantage, but Monacy can still save the day here, Maui.
Oh, Jax, he's got a sinking feeling, and it's not good enough, though. Monacy right there continues his efforts. Oh, long-range headshot, but Snax is not able to follow up. Spinks puts him down, and Vitality are on the board.
Still, it's impressive, right? They entered that round of Famous, 2 MP9s and a scout, and they made it very uncomfortable towards the end. We know they've got boatloads of cash going forward. This was a remarkable sequence from Monacy. Gets up towards shore, completely destroys Apex there, and thankfully, Spinks can hold his nerve. Snax could have won the round, the timing a little bit off, the sound cue given away, but here we go. Another purchase into it. We are going to see the MP9s of Famous once again. They do invest in the Monacy AWPs, currently 5-1. Smokes are deployed, Nico spamming. As we set up for another depot here, they're aware of potential aggression towards top and middle. Now's this time. Defensive smoke deployed. Bomb outside long as they feel out the map. No one towards shore. Just taking territory, getting key information.
Just slowing down Vitality. That's what G2 are doing. Making sure they can't build off of the momentum.
Yeah.
Can't take long immediately. And we see the map control procedures here for Vitality. They'll be taking cat control in just a moment's time, waiting out that utility, making sure they don't take too much chip damage. Nothing significant inflicted just yet. There we go. Flash to take catwalk. Flames is right there. Molly to force anybody off the angle. They know they have this control now. This is pivotal.
So far, so good. TTs now will be guessing what's going on. Do they react? They try and get some territory elsewhere, knowing that short has been compromised. Execution is possible here. This looks more like a contact play. Smoke goes down, flashes over. It's Nico to defend. Can he step up? Can he find the first? Monacy will be there with the AWP as well. Needs to find multiple kills here. Being surrounded, being pincered. And it's going to be Monacy starting to connect with the AWP. 3 versus 3, long-range spray doesn't connect for Nico, and now they're in a lot of trouble here. Snax and Hunter on the retake as the bomb gets planted.
Hunter right behind the smoke right now. Here's the bomb plant. He might not be aware of his position just yet. Okay, flash on forward. Nice shot from him, but nah, this is just clinical from Vitality. They're looking so good, but the HP, it is low. Snax, there's an opportunity. They've spotted him at this point. Okay, he's a little bit of a head. That's a pixel right there. Apex doesn't want to give him another opportunity, but he takes the shot, hits it himself.
Okay, some very close rounds there, but G2 have been broken. Good efforts with the FAMAS, the MP9s, the scouts. Monacy with the AWP in that particular round. Good for 1 kill, but a nice pincer. We talked about that early map control granted to Vitality, and you can see the effects of what you get. So many players up towards shore. Presence towards long as well. A reaction had to come through from the CT side. I can't afford to be attacked from multiple angles on that A sites, and it has to be the full eco, I'm afraid. USPs only for G2 here. A single flashbang. You're expecting 1 flash to be deployed, swinging in together, but focusing their efforts towards long at CT spawn right now. We'll see what they can come up with.
I gotta bring this up, Henry.
Go on.
Just how close these two teams have been all year, and in the final decision for world #1, these results matter. In front of a crowd, ZywOo versus m0NESY, hunting for that HLTV top 1 player, and on top of that, they are close together. Spinks, long-range shots, making it look so easy right now. And Spinks, okay. I think he's almost with the ace right here. Apex. He wants it.
He's taking it.
Yeah, he wants to get in on this. Okay, now Spinks, he's coming back for it. There we go. Spinks with the ace right there. Man, he has been just so clean against pistols in the last couple days.
It's true. Against Mouse yesterday, he completely dominated. Looking very sharp. Another ace locked in here in the semi-finals. 3-2. Vitality on a streak after losing a pistol, which has to be said was in the bag for them. That 5 versus 3. m0NESY stole it away. Snapped as well with a hat-trick. But now, turbulent times for G2. Another week by now. We haven't actually seen a full gun round yet.
No, yeah, this is
MP9s and FAMASs, and sure, they've got the AWP, but they need to start getting those rifles out.
Seriously, this is not a pretty look right now. Snacks deploys the smoke early. Like you said, just an MP9 to defend that B bomb site. And G2, they do sense that there's a little bit of a weak side. Might want to support it. Hunter is creeping on over there. A lot of spam being thrown through that smoke.
Okay, they're going to finish up towards B here. You can see there's 4 players in towards the tunnels. They have someone watching the extremities towards shore, showing a little bit of presence. ZywOo to cover them as they slowly but surely make the contact play in towards the B bomb site. Snacks tucked in. Hunter to bait. And they seem to know. They seem to be aware of the prospect. The first leg shot is hit, and it's going to be Snacks. Can he find multiple kills? Not this time. Significant damage. m0NESY keeps the round alive. He gets 3! Snatches the round away as Apex towards middle needs a double kill. Won't be expecting NiKo. And what a recovery once again. They make it work with the lesser weapons.
And that is why people have him as their world #1. Takes it back by force. Every single opportunity that was presented to him, he hits the shot, nails it. This jumping shot right there on a Spinks is so clean. And even while getting tagged right through the wall, is able to strafe out to take down ZywOo as well. One-man wrecking crew.
What an absolute sicko. They pulled the round back. It was looking unlikely. Now we're starting to see some stronger buys here from G2. Snacks on the MP9 again. ZywOo, AWP, ready to frag. Ready to open things up. The smoke will be deployed. Doesn't pull the trigger. And that will slow him down. They'll have to reassess their options here. G2 have control of B.
Such a heavy start leaning B for Vitality once again. They have definitely outlined what their win condition is in this game. Bullying Snacks. You hate to see it.
He's bullying them in the pistol.
Yeah, he's been holding his own so far. Can't take it so easily from him this time around. And we see that the mobile op for m0NESY is this time around posted at long. G2 are going to try to disguise where his whereabouts are every single round. Always keep Vitality guessing.
Here we go, towards that A bomb site once again, trying to test m0NESY, and that's not the maneuver you want to present. Apex goes down cleanly, and now do they want to continue their push? Molotov's deployed, trying to get control of the A sites. NiKo sends his presence towards middle with Flames. Not dissuaded, he'll happily push in. He'll happily make his way in towards the site itself. m0NESY tucked away in a more defensive manner here. They have got control of A, 35 seconds, and the CTs are on through. 3 players retaking from CT spawn, flashbang deployed, and here we go. Snacks at the tip of the spear. Flashbang successful. Can they open things up here?
Yeah, Mob's first up. Jax takes him down. Nice shot from him, and ZywOo with the defense from the back line. Jax still looking for the shot. Unable to find it. NiKo with 2 kills in quick succession, though. Now they're pressuring onto the site. There is a little bit of utility left on the side of Spinks, but he pushes the smoke. Great spray from Spinks. NiKo trying to close things out, and it's against ZywOo. 18 HP, 1 shot. That's all it's going to take. And NiKo right here, 2 seconds. Great shot from NiKo, giving Vitality a parting gift on his farewell tour.
What a round that was. Thriving in the chaos. NiKo with 4 more kills to add to his total. He's up there with m0NESY at 10 frags apiece. m0NESY laid the foundations for the round, played defensively, kept applying that pressure, and NiKo, the AK-47, puts on yet another clinic. ZywOo, 18 HP, detected the full defuse, and taken down. NiKo puts G2 in the lead. It's going to call for a tactical timeout now. Money is battered and bruised for the likes of Vitality. Spinks with 13 kills. ZywOo on 4, but overall they have around $2,000 remaining here. They're going to invest in some Tech 9s, some Deagles, and Maui. We've got a double scout setup potentially coming in.
Jeez, I mean, there's still time to sell that. It's not necessarily the final buy that Vitality are going to be going with in this one. And this is so impressive, though, from G2. The fact that they're able to stay composed. I mean, the G2 CEO himself said that they couldn't hold on to Nico.
Sure.
What a ridiculous quote to get right before an event like this, right before the RMR, right before the major. But they are full focus. They look as deadly as ever. People are siding with them against a team like Vitality. And sure, Vitality, they've got the stand-in situation, but they still have one of the world's best players in ZywOo and an incredible system. Apex has devised, crafted, CT rating, T rating, Vitality top of the board for the entire year. They have looked so good as an overall unit, but it's moments like this, these kinds of events where it feels like they've come up short multiple times.
Well, G2 now, we have a small technical issue to deal with. Moment's respite from the pandemonium that is Dust 2. I'm so happy we get to watch this map again. m0NESY and ZywOo locking horns on this particular battlefield is quite the tantalizing prospect, and it's already delivering. The big names stepping up, m0NESY and Eco looking super sharp right now, and we'll see whether these pistols, this weaker buy, will do anything for Vitality as they currently trail by 1 round here. It's 4-3.
Another live count right now. This is so important for the world #1 discussion. Going into this game, when these two teams faced off against each other, m0NESY and ZywOo had 46 kills throughout the year against m0NESY. m0NESY had 44 against ZywOo, but it has been all m0NESY in this game thus far. If I'm counting correctly, it's been 4 times that he's killed ZywOo already. Okay, what have we got? What have we got?
We deserve it.
Give us something.
Show me gold.
Come on, Singapore. Ah.
Yeah, hate to see it. It's unfortunate, but what you do love to see, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to go once again. The unpause has come through. And like I said, it's a difficult compromise buy here. It is going to be that double scout setup. Apex and ZywOo trying to open things up. It'll go for the boost. We know ZywOo can do a lot of damage with this particular weapon. m0NESY, though, still ready to challenge, and we are going to see a boost towards top of middle. One that does not work out for them whatsoever. This guy is in the zone right now. He's not missing a single thing. Spots a couple of players towards top of middle. And in terms of what they've got left over, bear in mind, these players barely have Kevlar. One flashbang as Snax gets a bit of intel here. Should be a bit of a freebie towards upper, and Spinks goes down.
That is not what you want to see from Vitality. An activated Snax, a Snax that feels emboldened, and a half-baked strategy here from the Vitality side. Yeah, just a couple scouts, some upgraded pistols, no real utility to take map control, and so G2, they're making short work of them. If you're going to take head-to-head firepower duels against G2, they are going to welcome that every single time with better weaponry.
Well, not really much left in the round. Looking for a couple of picks here, if possible. They coordinate themselves towards long. Still a slither of hope with ZywOo alive. Jax will recover the fallen scout from Apex. Maubs, I think he is yet to frag here. 0 and 5.
He's going to change that, Henry.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, double kill. Definitely. Maubs MD, the role model.
Yeah, very good.
Spray.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, 20 bullets. With a
good.
FAMAS?
Yeah, you're right. We'll give him that as Jax. That's a lovely shot. Not bad at all. m0NESY will be dropped, and Nico will close things out here. Finally on their feet. That's going to be 3 rounds in a row now for G2. A partial investment doesn't get them too far there. No plant. And we are going to see a chance for Taz to chime in. Snax currently 6 and 5. The positive KD there. We're 1 frag, Maui. The streak could be broken today.
They'd love that. Especially on the B site defense, when so many of the gun round plays from Vitality have focused around that site. If Snax is able to just hold his own, get a little bit more than 1 every single time, that is a luxury for the rest of the G2 members. Because it needs to be said, I mean, he has been a target for so many teams in the past, so many teams putting together game plans around how do we take advantage of where Snax is. And it's really one of the only weak links on the entire just G2 map pool. Where is Snax playing?
Maubs MD, the doctor is in session. Manages to get himself a double kill activated.
It's good. It's good. Good air quality today.
Oh, a little bit low B aggression, mixing things up. It's going to be Hunter, joined by Monacy down here. They overlook his position, but he is flashed and taken down. Monacy will have to make it work with the Tech 9. My God, does he ever! Keeps the dream alive here, and Snax has made a great maneuver. The fact he's got upper B under his remit, there's a chance he could really devastate Spinks. He won't expect that sort of push.
There's no way. Snax has got Vitality in a chokehold right now. They just don't know it.
It's huge.
Oh, this is going to be a freebie. Oh, he's moving away. This actually lowers the efficacy of the MP9, of course, and this is a pretty difficult kill, actually. Oh, he's just going to wait. Oh, he's waiting for it. He's waiting for it. The Vitality rotation is coming back in, but he might just have to pull the trigger on this one. Doesn't look like there's any more targets. Took a little while. A little bit worrying. There was an opportunity for Spinks, but still, advantage lies with G2.
We take it all day long. Nice work, Snax there. Fantastic push towards the B tunnels. Gets himself tucked in T-spawn. 3 versus 2. Maubs, this time defensive towards the A side itself. 1 kill would secure the win in round number 9 here, and it's an absolute beauty of a shot. Needs to try and stay alive. ZywOo definitely going to be dangerous in this scenario. Burns away Maubs. 42nd and the bomb on his back. Down to 30 points of health himself, but that won't be a factor if he can hit the first headshot here on Nico.
Needs to be the headshot. Oh, but it's Nico that finds it. Closes it out for G2 in that one. What a great push from Snax, and that's exactly what I was talking about in the round prior. The fact that Snax is somehow feeling activated, that is a worrying prospect for who is usually a guy that doesn't know what's going on that B bomb site, but all the way pushing into spawn. That's what you want to see from your in-game leader. A bit of fearlessness, a bit of proactivity. Makes things so much easier for the rest of his players.
Yeah, really well played there from Snax. Only the 1 kill, but it secures the win. We are going to enter another eco here for Vitality. Feeling the financial burn right now. A few rounds to go. No Kevlar on 3 players. Apex and Spinks will be equipped with Desert Eagles. Let's see whether they can find any gaps here, any openings whatsoever. Time ticking away. Their map pick. 3 rounds to the good, but we'll see if they can find a couple more here on that T side.
Yeah, just flirting with some fights towards middle. And this has so frequently been the way out, the release valve for Vitality, looking for a kill through the mid double doors. It's been their calling card, their signature of the entire tournament so far, but again, they're not really presented anything. It's either Monacy or it's nobody, and now, Vitality found that cat space. They have a smoke. They have 2 smokes, in fact. A flash to scale with as well. But Nico, he's got the counter flash, the palm tree flash. This is so hard to see, so difficult to defend when this is deployed.
So it will be an execution of sorts. The cross smoke. You can throw one towards elevator or the new box as well. Flashbangs to be deployed, but as you mentioned, Mouse, Nico, with that pop flash towards the palm tree, it's so powerful. Trying to alley-oop Monacy here, and in they go. The execution is delivered. Nico, first up to the plate. Passes with flying colors. Flames having a rough one out there as they try and get the bomb planted here, but no chance, no way.
Oh, wait.
Hang on, though. Hold the phone as Spinks and ZywOo do find a bit of space here. Mouse looking to save the day, and he does so in a clinical fashion.
His spray's getting better.
Yeah,
that was looking clean from Mobbs right there. A little bit worrying there for a moment. You can never count out the Vitality players. So much firepower on this roster. But just couldn't take enough space as quickly as they had wanted. Sure, if Mobbs falls right there, there's 2 players more from G2 that are already rotating on in from CT spawn. And Vitality, I mean, this is your pick. You got to get something going in this half. 4 rounds could be okay, but...
We need this man with the AWP right here.
That is true, Henry. ZywOo needs to join up. 6 kills only. Okay, Nico, fight early on, and the spray is there for 1. Apex gets the return. Mobbs right around the corner of the smoke. Oh, jumping through, and Mobbs is able to still hold on. The tracking is so strong for this player right now. And on top of that, the utility puts Flames into the dirt.
Wow, the long take, not successful whatsoever. It's a 4 versus 1. Spinks, the only player that's been performing to a high level. 15 kills short. 5 of those are against pistols, but Snax.
That was quick.
It's rolling back for years, Maui.
He's trying to break that streak. He knows it's there. I'm sure he's aware.
He's got some buffer. He's 8-5 right now.
Oh, yeah.
He can do this.
He really can. They need to close this one out quick, though.
Yeah, that's fair. We go the distance, that might fall apart, but still, it looked like they were done for here. Nico completely blind, but manages to find Jax before he's taken down, and Mouse warming up into this series, and then some. Lovely play. Look at this shot from the old boy.
Damn. He just felt like it was a death match right there. Every target dead.
That's why I was so excited for this match. We came in today just knowing we've got the stand-in, knowing the G2 situation, losing Nico, a lot of speculation about the roster, and you've got Dust2 to open things up. It's delivered on all fronts so far, but it's G2 taking the lion's share of these rounds. After snatching away that pistol in a 5-on-3 deficit, they've been fully activated now. A couple more to go as we get ready.
Classic moment right there. Yeah, no, the freeness in how both of these teams are playing, it's definitely indicative of the stand-in situation, the fact that G2 knows what's coming in the coming year. A1S dropped the spawn for the rotation, likely would be equipped by Monacy, but we'll see if he can just end the game with the AWP. Heavy tunnels presence from Vitality. This was their early game plan in the half, and now they're going right back to it.
Still another rough buy here for Vitality. They've got the loss bonus on their side, but no plants coming through. You can see they've got almost no util as we get into the 1 minute 30. And a B split looking very likely. They've been dissuaded now after Snacks has shown some good form, but he's got the AK-47 and still a lot of utility. Hands it over to Hunter. Nice grenade. Chip damage towards Jax here, and Snacks in a prime position now. He can tap away and find multiple kills here. The best weapon for the job as well. He wants Hunter to take the initial aggro. Here he comes. Lovely work. One more kill would do it. He's looking for the hat-trick. He gets 3, and Hunter guarantees the round. Apex, nothing to do, nothing to say. He recovers the bomb, but he is taken down. It's the first half going in favor of G2, 9-3.
Mezzi knows already. Would have to be an ace clutch, would have to be the sickest round of the tournament yet. No question about it if he does this. 15 seconds. He's actually so deep in that Mezzi doesn't see it. He's not aware. Might get free kill. He gets the headshot. And now it is on. This man is a demon. I don't know what he did to become this good at the game, but there's hardly ever been anyone like it. And now he's hiding. I bet the pressure is on Apex. He knows he has to walk into Nico's domain. Can he find him all the time? He's nearly there. Nico ready and waiting, just hiding. Waiting to step up. Our footsteps being heard on the other side. I'm not sure yet. Grenade. Nope, he's not up in the hallway either. Nico steps it up. He misses the shot. It's so close.
And 2-0 looking very likely here. Robs will confirm the penultimate kill, and now I was about to say it's just Axel, but he can win these sort of rounds, Anders. Give him an inch, he'll take a mile every single time. Looking for his opening.
It's frustrating because FaZe are making it so hard for him to even find any openings at all. Oh, there might have been one there. Gets into the headshot. 15 seconds left, and now he's hunting for it. He knows Roki's out there. The bomb is on the ground. He's looking to pick it up. There we go. Still got 8 seconds left. He's back on the site. And faking it once. He's running out of time. He goes straight. Oh, it's so close. Axel. He had it all mapped out.
And that op strikes fear in the heart of Astralis. Device tries to bounce back with his own. It's a 1v4 with a player down already. And as he swaps off the op, he opens up the great call to catch Apex trying to climb up into the graveyard. There's a golden ticket to depart.
Oh my God.
But he doesn't leave. They walk up, and walking forward could catch him off. But timing, oh God, Device. He's in between them. He sees the grave kill. He hits the headshot. And as he's down to 5 bullets, this 1v4 is not his for the taking. Flamesy's there to deny, and it's Vitality double digits.
He has to get the bomb. That's the one thing.
Downstairs with a low HP player sitting on it. Goes ahead and
hold on, this is taking way too long.
Spinks. Now the fact that he's also down to 20 HP, only 20 seconds on the clock. Frozen in black and red, looking for gold. Just barely enough time to make this possible. They layer on top of one another, which means he could still do this! Frozen! Oh my God!
How?
Strikes fear in the hearts of Vitality. One player up, that's it.
How did he avoid all of those bullets? Did he have an evasion aura? That was ridiculous.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your semi-final between G2 and Vitality. The former running away with it after winning the pistol. They have posted a fantastic record on their defense. 9-3 as they switch things over. An important pistol, Maui. Vitality, I think it goes without saying, need this one. They need players to wake up. Flames 2-11. Jax and Apex on 4 kills. Zyru, where is he? 6 kills still. He cannot get into the semi so far, but there's still time. As we'll see the Julies deployed by one of the world's best, and a bit of inquisition towards lower B here from Spinks as well.
2 players towards lower. Zywu, he needs to get activated for Vitality to have a chance in this one. This would be a good round as any. Right there in the corner. Oh, a decoy actually. Still is able to hit the spray right there. m0NESY with 2 immediately though. G2 are so good with these decoys, but m0NESY doesn't need any more. 3 kills already. Flames and Jax, the 2 lone members, but Mobs, he's already searching towards long A, already taking some space away. m0NESY, he's been a menace in this round. Way to cap it off, then finish off the final 2. Still trying to hold on to this position.
Even with a blind Zywu kill, it's nowhere near enough. 4-on-2. Still possible to some extent, but apparently not. Another ace is on the cards, on the agenda as Jax is thrust in to an impossible scenario. m0NESY now up to 18 kills, 7 deaths. And now another ace available to him. You know he's going to get it. At range, of course. Pops the final head. It's an ace!
Yes! m0NESY right there, showing off so much skill. The flashes, the decoys, all of it setting him up, the bodies as well.
Dude,
taking down his counterpart in Zywu on top of it. What a beautiful sequence from m0NESY there. This was just so clinical. He is on another level right now.
Dominating Zywu, making him look average.
Pedestrian.
Yeah, relax, the job's not done yet.
He knows. He knows.
It's gonna have to be a force buy here, Maui. A desperate purchase comes in from Vitality. A round they have to win. You give this one up, it is GG, I'm afraid.
It doesn't feel good to be in Vitality's seats right now. Holding on with 3 at B. This might be the wrinkle that Snacks and G2 are unaware of, but they don't even seem interested in going towards that bomb site. A little bit of pressure towards long from Mobs MD right here. Flames right around the corner, but so much cat space is being taken, and that forces Flames forward. He knows that his team is losing space. He presses on, and now it just leaves Zywu on the bomb site with an MP9, and G2, they already have outlined A as their point of attack.
Here we go then. A lot of pressure, and this doesn't have the firepower to fend them off. Zywu on an island here. But if you can somehow make this work, Maui, all will be forgiven for a slow start here on Dust 2. A nice opening frag, a chance at a second as well, but overwhelmed, smothered, as it will be Hunter pretty much guaranteeing the round here. And a 4 versus 3, sure, it sounds close, but they have no control of the A bomb site. And it hurts me to say, Maui, they're probably better off saving the Deagles and MP9s here.
Yeah, fully agree with you there. No kit as well. Try to upgrade one of these guns, see if somebody like m0NESY oversteps.
You're going to be hunting, though. With these MAC-10s in play,
Yep, yeah.
the MP9s, you definitely go for a hunt.
We can see Mobs right there with the MAC-10. He's looking for something. It's actually m0NESY that's taking the duel off of Catwalk. Okay, he thinks better of it, recognizes he doesn't want to give up the premium rifle to the opposing team. Don't give them a win condition in a game that seems so desperate for them. There we go. Oh, nice little run boost. That's tricky. That was
cool
nice.
idea.
That was actually slick.
Yep, enjoyed that. Doesn't look like there'll be much on this hunt. It's got Apex towards T-Spawn, Desert Eagle. He probably goes down now. As Apex is dropped, that's a significant kill.
Yes.
They're going to save a couple of MP9s, and I don't know what you do here. Do you go for the force buy, knowing that if it goes 12-3, you're not going to recover this game?
It's a tough call, and on a team with a stand-in, you're probably going to opt for that. You're trying to throw chaos into these rounds, trying to make things as hectic as possible.
Yeah, they're doing them.
And yeah, they are. They will opt for that. Man, Zywu still has to get into this game on 8 kills.
Where's Flames as well? He's 2-13. One of the big names of the squad, unable to deliver here on their map pick, and we're going for a long take here. Malbs MD, Snacks leading the charge, looking to open things up. The smoke is down, but it is popped. CTs are there, ready to fight. Again, they need this round. It will be map point if they concede this one. And all signs point to G2. They are looking locked in. They are looking ready to take their opponent's map pick here. It's Inferno up next. 2-0 looking likely at this stage. Vitality just can't get into this map the same way they did against Mouse.
It's got to be some nice shots from Apex. Scout peering on down from the platform. Flames in tow. And Apex, yeah, he knows he needs to will his team into this round. He might not be aware of a player in pit. At this point, you have to assume it. Self flash is there. Swing. No dice, nothing.
Yeah, this is still looking possible. I'll give them that. Apex applying nice pressure to the scout. He hits a couple more tags. His MP9s might be able to be set up. Smoke's down. There's the first kill. Now it's MD, though, with the double, looking to secure the victory. The CT still fighting back. 2 versus 2 now. Spinks keeps